All right.
Okay, let's start.
Hi, Anil. Anil?
Yes, guys. Sorry, I was on mute.
Uh,
I was talking on
yeah,
mute.
I could not hear you. So anyway, I created a admin server to manage servers and did the domain. So if you can just take a look at it, not now, but nearly at the end of the class,
Yeah,
just 5 minutes.
sure, we'll do that.
Okay,
So,
thank you.
okay, so last session we created our domain, so we'll see how to start and stop the servers. So we have one admin and couple of managed servers that we had on a single box. So we'll see if there is any sequence of starting those servers and what happened during the startup, and when we say the servers have started and ready to serve the requests. Is this the domain that we have created? And I think the port numbers are going to be different. We'll check those things. So let's say this is a domain on one of the boxes, all right, on our cloud server. The IP is going to be 6, and then I believe the port numbers are 10,001, 10,010, and 10,020. All right, now when we are starting the servers, the first thing that comes up is the admin server. The reason is the admin server owns that config.xml. If we have, in other words, if we have to put it in another way, we cannot start the managed servers without the admin. The reason being, managed servers, while they come up, they need the IP port to bind to. And the IP port information is available in config.xml, and config.xml is obviously owned by admin, which means for the managed server to come up, the admin should be already running. So the admin is the first one that's available or that should be brought up in a domain. Then all the managed servers can come up at a time. Now we don't have to really wait for one managed server to come up so that we can start the second one. There is no waiting between the managed servers. It's only between the admin and all the managed servers. So you have one admin up. Once the admin is up, all the managed servers can be started at a time. The reason being, admin is the one who holds the config.xml, and within the config.xml, all the managed server information is available. So order of your starting is always, you first start the admin, you wait for the admin to come up, and then start all the managed servers at a time. Or you can start the managed server one after the other. The same way stopping is in reverse order. You stop all the managed servers first, and finally you stop the admin. So that's usually the order. The order is important for starting. Stopping, you can stop any order. It does not really matter because you are stopping it anyway. So starting is important. You start the admin first, then the managed servers get started. The managed servers will contact the admin. They download the config.xml. And in the config.xml, the IP port is defined. All the services that are supposed to be in the managed servers are defined. All the applications that are supposed to be on that managed servers are defined. Everything about a managed server is defined in config.xml, and that is held by the admin server. So for the managed server to come up, you should have the admin up and running first. And this is the script to start your admin server. In your domain home bin directory, you will have a file or a script called start.weblogic.sh. The same script is also available in domain home, but just to keep the symmetry, we always use the scripts inside bin directory. So if you go to domain home and bin, you will have start.weblogic.sh. So let's go there. So we'll see the startup process, what happens during the startup. So this is start.weblogic.sh. Let's go in there. All right, let's go to the location where we had created our domain. bhg user projects domains. This is where we had created our domain. So go into our domain and go daemon. All right. So here we go. ls-ltr gives the output in what is called time sorted way. If you see this one, long listing, time, reverse order. So basically a latest file will be at the bottom. So if you see in this one, September 14th, 619, that's when this directory was modified. So go into config. Now this is our configuration file. Let's just check the port numbers once. Open it up. Less will open a file in a browsable window, means you can browse back and forth. Okay, we've been using 20,001 only. So admin server is encode ADM 20,001. Manage server 1 is 20,010. And manage server 2 should be 20,020. Yeah. So that's our 3 servers. Now let's start the servers. So here we are at domain home. This is our domain home. This is where we have created the domain home. The startup script is domain home bin. In domain home bin listed, you will see start weblogic.sh. This is the startup script. So execute that script. It will start the admin server. If you see this one, we will go across this one. What is happening actually here? You see this name here? This is how you know what is your server. Because all the servers are basically Java programs. So let's go back here. That's for username password. I think we are given WLS admin. You observe this. This is the location of the log file, the one that's highlighted. It creates a servers directory. Inside this, the name of the server itself gets created. Then under logs, you have another file. See, this file, the one that I'm highlighting, is different from the log file that you are looking at. We are also looking at a log file, the startup log file. And another file apart from what we are looking is also getting created, this log file. So this, the one that is highlighted, is called server log file, and the one that we are looking at is called a console log file. Console log file is something that you see when you are running a program. So whatever is the window that you open to start the program, if you see any log, it's called a console log. So we are looking at this entire thing is console log. Whereas this log, this one is little different. It's called server log. So we can open up a new session and see what kind of information you will have in the server log also. It will be similar, but a little related to, more related to the server itself. So bhg user underscore projects domains encode daemon. Under servers, that's where the log file name is. Server name, logs. We'll talk about the remaining directories here later. So logs, dls-ltr. This is the latest log file. This is what we are looking for. Tail will give you the last 10 lines. So if you do this thing, these are the last 10 lines. You see, this log is little different. It's more related to the server itself. So internal kernel threads, then garbage collection related things. So when you are troubleshooting, you will look at both the log files, not just one. So you are looking at both console log, which is this one, and then on the second screen, this is a server log. They're only little bit different. Now let's go back and see what happened during the startup. This is where you have executed the command, startup command. Alright. Now the Java memory options, basically Java program, when it comes up, it has a fixed memory to start with. It's called -x ms memory start -x mx memory max. If you see this Java program, our WebLogic admin server Java program, it starts with 256 MB. It can go up to 512 MB. Then max pumps, as we will talk about this one during our performance tuning. Then this server is in production mode. This is what we have selected when we are creating this domain. This thing is a group of jar files which define a class path. Similarly, this thing is a group of directories which will define a path. Now path and class path are similar, but path is basically for a shell program. Means if a shell wants to find a command, for example this one, let's say you are doing a cat command like this, or ls command itself. Now how does your shell know where the ls command is? It looks up the list of directories given in the path. We can also do a simulate that one using which ls. So this is where the ls command is. The same way cat, when you're executing a cat command, let's say cat, and what is this noise? This is a cat command. So how does your shell know where the cat command is? It looks up the path. So it goes into each of these directories, finds out whether there is a cat command in them or not. We can also do the same thing, which cat. So it was able to find under bin cat. So here, this is where it found it out. So a shell uses a path variable to find any commands that it's looking for, or any commands that we are trying to execute. The same way, class path is for a Java program. Now Java programs usually execute or instantiate the classes. Now when a class has to be instantiated, the class has to be found somewhere. It has to be in one of the jar files. So a Java program goes through this list of jar files in the class path. See, this is a jar file. This is a jar file. These are all jar files separated by semicolon. So your JVM or your Java program goes through all the jar files and it will try to find any problem, any class. If it cannot find any class, then you will get that usual error, no class definition found. It means Java program went through all the jar files, but it could not find the class that you are trying to execute or instantiate. Then you will see that no class definition found. If you see no class definition found, you have to go back to the class path, see if the jar file corresponding to that class is actually added or not. If not, then you have to add it. So these two variables are set first, and eventually your Java program starts. This is your WebLogic server. So if you observe, we are starting a Java program using a Java command. And where is this Java command? It's under Java home, which is this one highlighted. Under Java home bin directory, you have a Java command. Now we are starting it in a server mode. Alright. These are all the programs, or these are all the variables that we are giving. And we are executing a very big class called WebLogic.server. So it's just like executing Hello World program. So you execute Hello World program using Java space Hello World. The same way here, Java space WebLogic.server. But you are sending a lot of custom parameters here. Some of them are starting with -x, others are starting with -d. These are the two types of custom parameters you will pass. All the -x parameters are custom parameters to Java, means they are customization. If you see XMS and XMX, you're customizing the JVM itself or the Java program itself. Both Java program or JVM are, we use them interchangeably kind of thing. So memory start and memory max. These are the two things. So memory start is 256 MB, memory max is 512 MB. The same way, there are a lot of other parameters that start with X. Those are all parameters for Java. Then there are parameters for D, which start with D. See this one, -D, platform home, -D, WebLogic management discovery, -D, WebLogic name itself. Those are the parameters that we are passing to the program itself. Means internal to the program, those parameters get used. These are the two types of parameters. Then we went through the username password, the security framework of WebLogic. Once the security framework has authenticated our username password, if it is correct, then the logging system is initiated. This is where the log was getting generated. Alright. After the logging system generated, it starts all the subsystems one after the other. All these things. Here we are seeing a very little log, but as we move on further into our classes, you will see all the services being initiated. Means like JDBC services, if there are, they will be initiated. JMS services, anywhere they will be initiated. If you have any applications, they get deployed. So a server moves from this logging level to the running mode after initiating all the services and applications on it. Now during this moment, you will see several states of a server. If you see this one, it's a standby state. And before a standby state, you will see a starting state. So here, see this one. After your username password, it went into starting stage. Then it came to standby. From standby, it moves on again, starting. So it's not going back. This is from beginning starting. This is from standby, it starts onwards. Then it goes into admin mode. It goes into resuming. And finally, it goes into running. And unless a server comes into running mode, you won't say your server is up and running. And this process of coming into running mode may take anywhere between 2 to 7 minutes in a real-time environment, because you will have a lot of applications deployed, a lot of services that are created. All of them have to be initiated during the startup of the server. So it may take between 2 to 5 or 2 to 7 minutes in a real production system. So a server startup is a little time-consuming process, especially on 9.2 onwards. 8.1, the server startup used to be really quick. You used to start up servers in less than a minute. But from 9.2 onwards, the internals have changed. The server startup times have increased. Now, some of the badly performing servers may take up to 10 to 15 minutes to come up. So we've seen it's more like when you are in an outage and you are starting your servers, it's patience. You have to wait, and then everybody is sitting on the bridge and asking you what happened kind of. So it's more like you will learn to be a little bit holding on your nerves at that point. It usually takes anywhere between 2 to 7 minutes for a server to come up in a real environment. If it's a badly configured environment, or if you have issues, then it may go up more. So here we have server coming up in various states. At each state, some of the subsystems will get initiated. It's not really necessary to understand, or they are not documented anywhere, that what actual subsystems that get initiated at each levels. But what we have to ensure as an administrator is there are no errors during the startup. That's very important. Which means a server may be in running mode, you may still see errors beforehand. So it's really important that you have a look at the log while the server is coming up. And if there are any errors, make sure you fix those errors. Because you need to look at the errors, see what kind of error it is, try to fix it. And even if you will see a lot of errors sometimes, that warnings kind of things. So you may have to ignore them, depending on what kind of warning it is. That comes with experience. Means you see the same error again and again every day, so okay, this is a common error. So that's the reason you have to be very much familiar with the log file of your system, of your environment. Now you are looking at a log file, you should be able to identify, oh, this is a new error, we did not see this before. That's the kind of experience you should have. So you need to keep looking at the logs always, not just when you have problems. If you do that one, then you won't know which is a normal error or commonly occurring error, or which is a new error. So it's really important that you keep looking at your logs when the servers are coming up. Alright, and just before the server came up, it will tell you what username, port number it's listening on, which domain it belongs to, all that stuff. See this one here. Server WebLogic admin server, encode ADM for domain encode daemon, running in production mode. And before that one, see this one. Channel default. Channel is nothing but a socket. The name of the socket in this case is default socket, is now listening on the port number and the listener address that we have given, and it's listening for all these protocols: IOP, T3, LDAP, SNMP, HTTP. So your server is ready. Now once your server is ready, you can check your server details in multiple ways. Let's say we clear it. You do a PS process check. This will give you all the process running on your system, PS-EF. Out of it, grep for all the Java process. So this is your server. This is your WebLogic server. And the name of this WebLogic server, you can identify by looking at the name. So this is started by encode IT user. The process ID of this is 4877. The parent process ID is this one. It was started at 520 from the terminal PTS1. And this is your program. You don't have to really worry about all this stuff. This is not really necessary except the first two columns. Who started it? What's the process ID? We're going to use these two variables or these two information later. So, but if on a system, the moment you log into a system, if you want to know what are the servers that are running, you just do a regular check, PS-EF, grep for Java. These are the processes that are running on your system and the names of these processes. Alright, that's one way. Another way is to check the port numbers. So you can look at the network statistics, netstat-na, all network statistics. This is a command that gives you all the network statistics. Out of this, see if your port is running. You see, this your port is listening. So 20,001 port is listening. If your port is not listening, you won't get any output. So netstat-na, grep for, let's say 30,000, which we don't have anything. So it means 30,000 port is not being used by anybody. This is something that we'll require very frequently. Means we want to know whether our port is being in use or not, or if our port is listening for incoming requests or not. In this case, we are trying to see if our admin server has started successfully and is it listening for incoming requests or not. Yes, it is. Alright, so your admin is up now. Now once your admin is up, you can start the managed servers. So let's say we start the managed servers. Let's go to the domain again. Now to start the managed servers, let's see here. Let's come back to the document here. Now this is what we have discussed. WebLogic is a Java process. It starts up like any other Java process. And it went through several stages. We can use this command PS-EF and grep for Java command to see that one. The various states during the startup, I've listed those states in the next stage here. These are the various stages of WebLogic startup: starting, standby, starting, admin, resuming, and running. And until it comes to running mode, you won't say it's running. Alright, then boot.properties, we will talk about this one in a few minutes. And then look at the managed server startup. For admin server, one script is more than enough because start weblogic.sh would do. The start weblogic.sh will directly look at the config.xml. It will know which server is admin. It will start. But for a managed server, we cannot have a single script because there are multiple managed servers. So what we have here is a single script. We need to pass the parameters. So domain home bin start managed weblogic.sh is the script name. Managed server name is what we pass. like encode mng1. Admin URL means where the admin is running at this IP, at this port. So we are using start managed web logic, managed server name, admin URL. That's to start your managed server. Let's come back to that starting managed servers. So let's go to domain home. So this is our domain home, right? So I'm going upwards 3 stages from the current location. This is my domain home. Under domain home, last time, so you will see a start weblogic.sh here also, but don't use it, or you can use it, no harm done. Or usually to keep it symmetrical, so everything we run from bin directory. So under bin, just now we use start weblogic.sh. Now we're going to use start managed weblogic.sh. So start managed weblogic.sh, manage server name, encode mng1, admin URL 192.168.128.6.20,001. Now this also goes through the same process. No difference at all. So this one here, encode mng1. But a managed server will have one additional parameter, management server. This parameter you won't see for admin server. It means it is trying to contact this admin server running on this 20,001 port number. This is one additional parameter you will see for a managed server. Other than that, everything is same. The managed server in this case will contact the admin server, will download the config.xml, will try to bind to the port defined in the config.xml. So let's give the username password, wlsadmin. So the log got created here. This is where the log is getting created. See this one. Under servers, a new directory got created of its own. It's taking a little time to come up. No, I'm not talking. It'll take some time to come up. You can actually speed up this process a little bit. We will see that step, how to speed up your server startup. After a couple of sessions, we'll see it once you are comfortable with editing some of the files. We need to add an additional parameter here. A -d parameter is what we add. That will speed up a little bit. It is very slow. Okay, while this server comes up, what we can do is, we can look at the admin console. Admin console, this is how you access admin console. Admin console is a browser-based application that's deployed to the admin server. Using this application, you can actually manage the entire domain. Manage in the sense, we can deploy applications, we can change the configuration of the servers, we can create servers, we can create any services, everything. So when you have a domain, this application is probably one of the very frequently used applications to manage your domain. Manage in the sense, you try to do anything related to your domain, you may want to log into your console application. Console application is a browser-based one, so you access it using HTTP wherever is admin running with the port number. And this application is available only on admin, not on any other server. So means you cannot give manage server IP here and try to access the console. So let's try to access the console for once. So our server is coming up still. This is the manage server. Alright. So we will try to log into the console. HTTP admin IP 96 admin port 20001 console. This is your console. Oracle WebLogic Server Administration Console. So give your username, password, WLS admin, login. This is your admin. This is your console. Now on the right side, these things, don't worry about these things. They are actually shortcuts to what you are seeing here. So everything about console or domain can be accessed from this left hand side box, square box under domain structure. At the beginning you got the name of the domain. You have environment, means what kind of servers you have, what kind of clusters you have. Then deployments, these are the applications available on this domain. Then the services offered by this domain, means the JDBC services, GMS services. Then security, what kind of security, users, groups, roles, policies, we'll talk about all those things. Those are available on this domain. Then interoperability, how this domain can connect to other things. Diagnostic is a monitoring thing. So out of all these things, the first 5 is important one. This is where you will spend most of your time. If you see the first one, environment, so these are the various components of environment. Servers, part of environment, clusters, virtual hosts, migratable targets, machines, work managers, startup shit. We will see some of those things by the end of our session. Then deployments, if you click on it, currently there are no deployments running on this server, so it's empty. Then services, you will see messaging services, those are GMS. Then JDBC services to connect to a database, persistent stores, and some other services offered by WebLogic. Then security realm, we'll talk about it, this one also later. So this, from here, you will be able to pretty much access everything. So for now, let's get into environment. We know about servers, so let's click on servers. These are the servers. So you have admin server running, state on this port number. Manage server 1 is also running on this listen port. Manage server 2, we did not start it yet, so it's shut down. So if you go back to the screen, yeah, this is where the manage server 1 is running. So manage server 1 also goes through the same phases: standby, starting, admin, resuming, and running. Now the same way we can start a second manage server, or no, we'll leave that one aside. So let's start it. What's harm? It will come up anyway. So encode IT, go to the domain home, students online, PA10G, user underscore projects, domains, encode daemon, bin, starting your managed server. Start managed WebLogic, managed server name, same syntax, encode mng2 this time, admin URL 192.168.128.6. Now remember, this is not the managed server port you are passing. It's always the admin. So for a server to server, the only change that your script will have is the name of the server. IP port is always of the admin server, not the managed server. Remember it. So that's usually one simple mistake we tend to do. WLS admin, WLS admin. So in this case, the server name is this thing, encode mng2. So this should be coming up. Okay, this will come up anyway. So here, once it comes up, we'll have it in running mode. Now, ideally, you should be looking at the log file while it is coming up, or at least sometimes look at the log, make sure there are no critical errors kind of thing. Now coming back here, so for stopping the servers, you stop the managed server first. Now let's look at the stopping the server. Sorry, this is starting for stopping the server. Look at this. For stopping managed servers, your order has to be in reverse order. You stop the managed servers first. The syntax is again same. Stop managed WebLogic. This is wrong here. See, this command is wrong here. For stopping managed servers, you will use stop managed WebLogic. Just like start managed, you will have stop managed. Domains encode daemon. So bin directory, you will have stop managed. The syntax still remains the same. Stop managed WebLogic, managed server name, encode mng1, let's say. Alright, admin URL 168.128.6 20,001. Now let's say this is what we are trying to stop. This is second managed server. This is the first managed server. How do we know this is the first managed server? I'm looking at the name of the server. That's it. So I'm looking at the name of the server, so I know this is managed server. So I'm going to stop it. Stop managed WebLogic, managed server name, admin URL. So when you stop it, see what is happening. Alright, username password again, WLS admin, WLS admin. That's it. It stopped here. Now once it stopped here, you can go back to the screen. You will see that it was running mode here. When we give a shutdown command, it went into suspending, it went into admin and shutting down. These are the three phases it goes through while the server is coming down. And your stop script, these stages are not really that important. So we really never bother about it. So it's not that important. So don't worry too much about it. What we are really interested in is the script and the syntax of it. Just like start managed, a stop managed WebLogic also has the exact same syntax. Start or stop managed WebLogic, the name of the server, wherever is the admin running. Now this is the actual proper way of shutting down your servers. So if you go back to the second server, is it up? So yeah, encode 2 is up. So let's go to the console, refresh this page. Now you see, we have shut down one just now. Admin and this thing are running. Now this, the proper way of shutting down we have seen. Stop managed weblogic.sh, manage server name, admin URL. For admin server, the stop script is this one, stop weblogic.sh. So here remember, so this document is little incorrect here. It is supposed to be stop managed weblogic, manage server name, admin URL. I'll correct that one. So make sure, make a note somewhere. And for admin server, it's stop weblogic. Then that's a basic or proper way of shutting down a server. A managed server is using managed server script, admin server using admin script. But when you are in hurry or your script is actually not working, means you gave a stop managed weblogic but nothing is happening for 5 to 10 minutes. Basically your server is hung. In that case, you're going to kill your process, just like you do in Windows. When your cross mark or exit does not work, you simply go to the task manager, select that process, kill it. The same way here. Find out the process ID, ps-ef grep for Java. So here if you see, there are two servers. One is your admin server. How do I know it's admin? I'm looking at the name of the server. Then the second process is your encode mng2. This is the name. So we're looking at the process ID 5252 for second one, 4877 for the first one. So in case your stop script is not responding or you're in hurry, you're going to kill it. And this is a command to kill the process. Kill -9 the process ID 5252. We kill it. You can go to the screen where it is running. This was the screen. Alright. Encode 2 was running. When we kill it, you see it's killed. You see this thing? 5252 killed. Now let's go back to the console. Refresh this page. So 2 we killed it. Sorry, 2 we killed it. See this one. Here the status is unknown, not shut down. Because the shutdown happened through admin. The admin knows that the server was shut down. Whereas for the second managed server, admin does not know anything about how this server went down. Is it up or not? Is it not responding? Admin does not know. So it simply gives a status that is unknown. So when you kill a process using kill-9, you will see unknown. When you shut it down using a regular command, you will see shutdown. So these are the two methods usually we use in real time to shut down your servers. Now more frequently, especially if it is production, you use the proper command. If it is testing, you just kill it. That's the usual way you do it, because you don't want to kill process in production. That may cause problems when you are starting them next time. So production servers, you usually use the proper command, stop managed weblogic.sh, manage server name, admin URL stuff. Now here, everything is good so far. So now we know how to start a server, admin server, using start weblogic.sh, manage server, start manage weblogic.sh, manage server name, admin URL. The same way, stop manage server and stop admin. Here if you observe, we have started all our servers on individual sessions. So this session is empty, so let me close this session. This session is empty, let me close this session. This is empty. This is still running. This is where our admin is actually running. The question is, what happens if you close this session? Will the server be still running or it will go down? What do you think, guys? I'm closing this session, so I closed it. It's done. Now, if I log in again into that box, will it be running, the admin server, or it won't be?
It won't be running.
It will be?
It won't be.
It won't
will not be. I think it will not be.
So let's do that.
If you use ampersand in the background for running, it will run. Otherwise, it will get shut down.
That's right. So here, once you close the session, it shuts down. So we have a problem. Means we cannot depend on our desktop to run our servers. We connect from our desktop to the server using PuTTY, and we start the servers, and we should be able to shut down our desktop or laptop, go home. So we need some mechanism to disconnect our server startups from the sessions where we are starting them. Like in this case, we are connecting from my laptop to the cloud server. So once I close my laptop, the server or our JVM should be still running. Now for that one, we're going to use a little Unix mechanism to disconnect the startup script from the terminal where we are running it from. So we're going to use this mechanism. So here, they are wrapper scripts, they are usually called, because we wrap them with another script. Our actual startup script, we wrap them over using another script. So let's see what's happening here. We are going to talk about something called a file redirection. What happens in a file redirection is, whenever a process starts, it could be a WebLogic admin server or manage server or a cat command, simple cat command, or any other command in Unix. Operating system gives 3 files, 0, 1, and 2. A 0 file is called standard input, 1 is called standard output, 2 is called standard error. So when you execute a command, the command is getting 3 files. Input file, output file, error file. The idea is any input to the command should be given through that input file. Any output from the command should be returned to the output file. Any error from the command should be returned to the error file. But by default, when you execute a command, all the input, output, and error are redirected to that screen where it's running. In this case, let's say the white screen here. So when you execute a cat command, for example, so let's see this one. Let's go to the location where we have all our files. Students. Online. BATNG. User projects, domains, and Cordium. So let's do a simple cat. Cat shutdown. This is cat command being available. Cat F1. F1 is not available. Here, see this one. 2 different things actually happen here. In the first case, cat has given actual output. This is the output. And the output is seen on the screen because standard out, STDO out, is actually redirected to the white screen we are looking at, the terminal it's usually called. In this case, it's not the standard output, it's the standard error. But still we see it on the screen because even the standard error is redirected here. The same way, any input that we give, also we give from the same white screen. So normally when you are executing or when you are running, executing your regular commands, you give the inputs on the terminal or the screen, you get the output on the screen, you get the error also on the screen. Now instead of using those default redirection, we can actually change these lines. Means you can redirect it to whatever files you want. Let's say, for example, something like this. So what we are doing here is, standard output, I'm sending it to a log. I'm not sending it to this red box anymore, the terminal where the command is executed. So I will see the standard output in a different log. And standard error, I'm sending it to wherever standard out is going. So here, if you see the example, start weblogic.sh, that's my command. If I don't give anything here, means these things, everything can be seen on the white screen itself. Instead of seeing everything on the screen, what I'm doing is standard output, the one I'm redirecting to one of the log files, and I'm using double redirection so that every time I restart, my log file gets appended. And 2 means standard error, redirecting it to wherever 1 is going. 1 in this case is going to out.log. 2 will go here. So this is a common notation you will use to capture the logs. So you are capturing output, you are capturing the error. Now once the output and errors are captured, the only thing that gives us associated with the terminal is the input that we are giving. So this arrow mark. Now WebLogic provides a provision to dissociate this input. The input we are giving is username, password. So what we need to do is, using a WebLogic method, we will create a file and we put our username password in that file. Now WebLogic is expected to read that file during the startup. If that file exists, then WebLogic will read the username password from that file. If it doesn't, that's when it actually asks us for username password. And that file name is boot.properties. This boot.properties file has to be under server name security directory. So here, if we go in here, this is domain home. Go into servers directory. Each of the servers has its own directory. So we have to go into each of these directories. You will see a security folder. If it is not there, you have to create it. It's not there, so create a directory. So go into security. Here nothing, you need to create a file, boot.properties. Set your username, password, only these two parameters. Save your file, close it. WQ, that's it. Just make sure everything is good. Boot.properties. You have both the files. Excellent. So for admin server, you have created boot.properties. The same way you have to do it for other two servers also. Now in 10G, an easier way means instead of going into each server and creating security, what you can do is you can create it under domain home. So this is your domain home. You can create a boot.properties file. Means instead of individual security directory, you are creating it under domain home. When the server comes up, it will first look in the security folder. If it cannot find it, then it will look under the domain home and it will copy it into the security folder. So what we have done for the sake of simplicity is we have created a boot.properties file in the domain home. Remember, this is only for 10G. 11G, it does not work. Means you have to make sure the boot.properties file is available in individual directories. Now coming back here. So what we have done here is we have redirected the output. We have redirected the error. Our script is not dependent on inputs anymore. Manually, we are not going to enter any username password. The boot.properties file will take care of it. Now once we are captured everything, we're going to run this thing in the background. And the way of doing it, where is it? This thing. I did not give the ampersand anywhere. Okay. Now the way of doing it is actually running an ampersand at the end of the script with a no hop. So I'm going to show you how to write the script. So this is the fundamental of what we are trying to do. This one. You are redirecting output, redirecting error, you are disconnecting or removing any dependency of inputs. So you have created a boot.properties, so there are no inputs required for WebLogic server anymore. You are capturing the output log in some output log file. The same way error also you are sending it somewhere. Now once those things are done, so this is what is going to be your script. Under bin start weblogic.sh, one redirected to admin.log, two redirected to address of 1. This is your script. Now this entire thing we want to disconnect from the terminal, means you're going to run it in the background. So the ampersand sends a process into the background, and when you are running something in the background, you will usually associate it with a no hop so that it will not listen for any interrupts. So in this case, no hop and ampersand are the actual ones that are disconnecting your process from the terminal. But because you are disconnecting from the terminal, you would want the server to start without asking for any inputs. That we are taking care by creating a boot.properties file. You don't want to lose the log file because this process is not associated with any terminal. A log file capturing is going to be a problem. So before we start, we're sending it to a specific log file. The same way error also, we're sending it to a different log file. So here, this ampersand is different. The last ampersand is different. A last ampersand is basically a background process. Send something into the background. The first ampersand is address of 1. That's where the output is going. Alright. Now what we're going to do is, instead of executing this command every time at the command prompt, we're going to put it into a script, something like this. So let's say I create a script in my domain home, vi start admin.sh, and in here I'm going to put this. So under bin directory, there is a file. So do this. So no hop /bin directory start WebLogic. Output going to admin.log to redirect it to address of 1, run everything in the background. And I'm going to modify it a little bit just to make it much more generic. Domain home encode IT. Domain home I'm giving. Online B10G user underscore projects domains encode YAML. Then modify this a little bit. Use that variable $domain home. That's it. My script is much more generic now. So no hop domain home bin start WebLogic admin URL, admin server log file, error. That's it. Ready to go. Go in here, save and close the file. Cool. Now change the permissions, chmod 745. All right.
You may actually consider here giving the full path for the log file also, the way you are invoking the sh. Maybe, because admin log otherwise will go to the current directory from wherever you are launching the script.
Yeah, that's right. You can, we can customize that one, assuming all the log files will go into a different directory. Yes, that can also be done. So here, change the permissions. So make sure, just check it out. Make sure everything is good. So domain home is this one. No hop with an ampersand. Start WebLogic. Admin.log. Error also going in here. Now if you observe here there is a double redirection. You don't have to double redirect here because this is a pointer. This is a reference. This is not actually a file. So this will still append your errors to the same log file, whereas this one is a regular file redirection. So once that is done, you're good to go. So nothing is running at this point of time. Something is running. Admin. Did we start at something? Started at 609. I think last time we executed it. Yeah, just before we wrote the script, I think we executed it. Then you should have a file. No. Okay, anyway, so I'm going to kill it again. Kill -9. Okay. Now make sure there is nothing running. Something is going wrong here. Something is not correct. 5573. Java. Okay, nothing is running. Now let's start the admin. Okay. Now nothing is, this is not actually linked to your terminal anymore. Not unlike before, everything is being pumped into a log file. The log file name is admin.log. We can continuously monitor the log file using tail-f. This thing. So the tail-f command continuously grabs or continuously tails the file name that we are giving. So your server is coming up, admin server. Now this is not going to ask us for any username password anymore because we have created the boot.properties file. Just give me a moment, guys. Alright, so what is it coming up? Yeah, it's coming up. While it is coming up, let's try to create the wrapper script for the managed servers also. cd student online pa user underscore projects domains and code daemon. Okay, so let's create a couple of other wrapper scripts. One for manage server 1, start mng1.sh. So again, the same stuff. I'm going to copy it and modify it a little bit. Copy the admin script into this one. Then we'll open this one, start mng1.sh. The domain home will remain the same. The second command will change. Domain home bin instead of WebLogic, we're going to use start managed WebLogic. Manage server name, the syntax will change a little bit. Encode mng1 admin URL 192.168.128.6, port number 20001. The log file name will change, mng1.log, let's say, to redirect it to one address of 1. This all will remain same. That's it. So here, save it, close it, enter. Now copy this one into the second file. .sh. Open the second file, newly created file, modify anything that you want. The domain home will remain the same. No hop. Start manage WebLogic. The name of the server will change. Except that, nothing else. So encode mng2. Admin URL will remain the same. Log file will change. mng2. That's it. Save it. Close it. So you have all the files ready. Now if you see this one here, the server startup, you see this is reading that boot.properties file here. This is where it's reading the boot.properties file from your security folder. So your admin is running. Now once your admin is running, now the script that you're looking at or the screen that you're looking at is a tail-f. This is not the server startup itself. Server startup has everything in admin.log. Now you can close that session. Start the second managed server. Do the same thing. tail-f mng1.log file. Now this is the second managed server that's coming up. Now the same way we have created wrapper script for starting. The same way you can create the wrapper script for stopping. So let's say copy start admin to stop admin.sh. Open the stop admin.sh and modify anything that you want. Domain home will remain the same. No hop. This is stop admin or stop weblogic.sh. We also want this to go to the same log file, admin.log. So this will remain the same. Save it, close it, done. The same way, create the wrapper script for stopping for the second and third managed server. Stop mng1.sh, vi stop mng1.sh. Domain home will remain the same. Here, stop manage WebLogic, manage server name, admin URL. These things will remain the same. Manage server name, admin URL. You want to send it to the same log file. Errors to the same address of 1. You're good to go. Save and close. The same way, create stop script for second managed server. Take a copy from start script, stop mng1.sh, 2.sh. Open that one, stop mng2.sh, modify it. Domain home will remain the same. Startup script. In this case, stop. Manage WebLogic. Manage server name. Log file name. Everything will remain the same. So save it. Close it. So you got all the scripts. Startup script for admin, manage server 1, manage server 2. Stop script for admin, manage server 1, manage server 2. Now our servers are still coming up. So mng11. So now if you close this session, nothing really happens to the coming up server. The state of the server will still remain intact. So I've closed everything. I'm going to relog in. Encode IT, encode IT. Now if you go into directory where it's running online, B10G, user underscore projects, domains, encode daemon. So your log files are here. One is admin.log, manage11.log. If you look at the manage server log file, it's up. If you see the process, both of them are running. So one and then admin server, which is this one. So these are usually the wrapper scripts that we use in every Unix environment. The wrapper scripts basically allow you to close the terminal where you are running it. So this, you closed everything, you close your laptop and go home kind of stuff. So the servers will be running on your actual server in the data center. As long as the server is up and running, your servers are, your JVMs are good to go. So that's your wrapper scripts. The meaning of what actually is happening with this one redirection, two redirection, and the boot.properties file. All right, these wrapper scripts are really important. They are simple, but they are kind of mandatory in all Unix environments. And the first thing that we do when we are setting up an environment is to create these wrapper scripts. That will save us a lot of time and effort. So here we go. E10G, user underscore projects, domains, encode domain. So these are our wrapper scripts. So we have created these wrapper scripts and we customized these wrapper scripts. Now the next thing that we're going to see is how to extend this domain. Normally you won't have your production domains in a single box. That's very rare. So you will have at least 2 or 3 boxes where you're, even for a testing environment, where your servers are actually running. So what we're going to do is we're going to extend our domain into the second box that we have. On the first day I've shown you our setup. So if you go back to our setup here, This is our setup. Now what we've been doing so far is we are working on the Windows 8 box. We were using putty server to connect to the cloud. Now we have to extend our domain from the cloud server or server 10 into server 21 also. So we're going to see how to make that extension. So make sure, just remember all these servers are in a LAN through a router here. So what we are trying to do here is we are trying to extend or create couple of managed servers on this box, server 21, and that managed servers should belong to the existing encode daemon. I'm going to show you in very simple steps. A lot of people do it in a lot of ways. The simplest of all of them is what we're going to see. Now this is what we have. So let's say our domain name is encode daemon. Here you have dsoft daemon, so don't worry about it. So encode daemon is our domain, and currently let's say it's running on 192.168.128.3 with couple of managed servers and one admin server. What we are trying to do is we are planning on adding some other servers, managed servers only. You cannot add one more admin, it's not possible. So we are trying to add some managed servers on a different box. In this case, our box IP is again 2 or 7. We'll see that IP, and then we'll try to extend it onto the second box, and we will see the process of doing it. I'll see this one. Now before we go into these steps, let me start that box. That's a virtual box we have. So Oracle VM virtual box. This is a clone that you have downloaded. Have you guys downloaded the clone? Were you able to bring it up?
Hello?
Yeah, have you guys downloaded the clone?
Yeah, I did not get what is clone? It's like Oracle Ubuntu you're speaking about, clone?
No, this is the box that you're looking at, this one. This server that's coming up, Linux new tool.
Yeah, in my local system I have Ubuntu installed. So will it be fine for me?
No, there are lots of custom settings, and the file transfer may be difficult. So I suggest you usually download this clone and set this up. Otherwise, your concentration will be more on fixing the OS related stuff.
Okay. Yeah, sure, Anil.
Yeah.
Okay, I will do it.
Yeah. Deepak, you are able to download and bring it up?
I have downloaded Anil. It took some time for me, but I have not installed it as yet. So,
Okay.
But the download has been completed.
Okay, cool. Just try it out, so see if you have any issues or anything.
Anil, sir?
Yes.
I have one doubt. If we download it from the clone, so right away we can install this one Red Hat Enterprise Linux?
It's already installed everything. You don't have to really do anything. It's 5 minutes up. There is no installation, nothing. You just download, configure, that's it. 5 minutes, you have your system up and running. No installation. It's already done.
Oh, okay, fine. Then got it. Yeah. Okay, thanks. Yeah.
That's why we have a clone. So that you don't have to worry about installations, file transfers, all that stuff. Everything is done already. Everything is ready.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay, fine. Thanks. Yeah.
Okay, now while this server comes up, let's see the process of extension. How we're going to extend an existing domain into a new box. So on the left side is where we have our existing domain. To the right is where we are trying to extend our domain to. Means we are trying to add a couple of servers on a box on the right side. Now obviously the first thing, if you have, let's say, a server, additional server, encode MNG4 and 5, these servers should already be part of the domain. Otherwise you cannot start the servers on any box, which means you should have the information of these 4 and 5 in your config.xml already. You can edit the config.xml directly, or you can go to the console and add the servers. Means you are making the servers part of your domain from a configuration perspective. Later you're going to start the servers on a different box or any box. So for the servers to even start looking at it, you first have to add the servers to your domain. Now that's the first step you're going to do here. Step 1, add the additional servers to the config.xml from the admin console. After this is done, you go to the second box, you do the basic setup. Means you install BA WebLogic, alright? Then you create a domain home directory structure like wherever you have on the first box. Our domain home in the first box is under home encode IT students online BA 10G, that path. Because we are going to transfer the tar file from box 1 to box 2, the directory structure should be same. Otherwise, it's not going to work. So we create the basic directory structure required. Means a directory structure should be same on both the boxes. So here, step 1, you're going to add your servers. Step 2, you go to the box and install BA. Now BA home also can be tarred and transferred, but a recommendation is usually to do a clean install. That way all your core files are clean. Then you're going to create a basic domain structure so that the domain home is available on box 2 also. Then the actual process starts. See this one, the step 4. What we are trying to do is you create a tar file of your domain home. So whatever you have on this domain, this is box server 10. This is our first server, and we are planning to extend it to the second server, server 21, that is. So here, this is our domain home. Now we're going to take a tar of this domain home and transfer this tar to the other box. Then extract that tar. So step 4 is taking a tar using tar cvf command. This is a command, tar cvf. This is the file that gets created, encode daemon.tar for this directory. And once you have a tar file, the file name will be encode daemon.tar. Now you're going to transfer the tar file to the second box using the scp command. Secure copy my tar file, this tar file name, using this user ID at this box at this location. So you have your tar file coming onto the second box. Then step 6, you simply extract the tar file using tar xvf. So you have your domain home ready on box 2 also. Once you have your domain home ready, you start the manage server just like our regular manage server. Start manage weblogic.sh, manage server name, admin URL. In this case, the admin URL is simply on a different box. So this manage server, while coming up, will contact the other box, and the process on that other box will try to download the config.xml, will continue. Alright, this is the easiest way of domain extension. Yes.
The step 3, why the step 3 is required? Because we can install the BA home no problem on the box 2, but since we are doing a tar of domain home, we can just simply as a part of the copying process to server 2, everything will kind of come by itself, right?
Yes, that can also be done. Means it's okay to extract everything, but see, if we are doing it, we are tarring only the actual directory. We are not tarring the entire path. So the path won't get created on box 2 unless it's already there. So you see this one here, encode DM, only the tar file. We are creating a tar file out of the directory itself. We are not worried about the overall path. So the path, unless it's there on the second box, you're going to have a problem. So just to make sure everything is correct, we create the path manually. we simply take a tar file of only that directory, not the entire path. Then we extract it here. So I'm going to execute the first
that
step
looks
here.
quite.
So let's start executing the steps. Step 1, we're going to add a couple of servers here. So let's start our admin server. If it is not running already, is it running already? So Java, I think it's running. Okay, so this is our admin, it's running. Let's log into the console, add a couple of servers. So the first step here. So let's log into the console. I think refresh this page. WLS admin, WLS admin. Alright, so go into environments. So we have 2 servers. Let's say we add a couple more servers. So lock and edit is you're locking the config.xml and trying to edit it. That's what this lock and edit means. All the changes that we are making will be saved in a buffer, and when we say activate the changes, they will all be returned to that config.xml. See, this is what is happening. You lock and edit first thing, so then you create a new server, give the name of the server and code mng3. Let's say we're going to add 3 and 4 servers. The list address of this server is going to be of box 2. Now let's try to find out the box IP. This is box 2. I think it's 2. That's the IP.
Hello?
Yes, yes. No, I'm not talking.
Yeah, I have just one doubt. Like
Yes.
when we start the server, are there like any importance of other parameters when we initiate a server, like except the name of the server and all the other stuff? Are there like any importance of that parameters too?
Yeah, some of them, especially the XMS and XMX parameters. We'll talk about those things in performance tuning. They are heap parameters.
Okay. And the class loader is something like when we initiate the startup of the server, the class loader loads classes in the
That's right.
Java.
JVM. Yes,
Java.
that's right.
Okay.
A class loader is the most important thing. That's the one that actually loads your program and all the classes into the JVM.
Okay, fine. So suppose if the class is not found, it throws an exception like class not found exception, right?
That's right.
Okay. Yeah, thanks. Yeah.
This is a little slow here, so bear with me. It's not 2. It's not even 7. So I'm just testing. Looks like it's 4. One 128, 128, 4. That's not 4. That's really sad. Everything is slow. I'm looking into my router to see the IP of new box. What is the IP? CentOS, this no, nothing is actually assigned. It's not connected at all. Something is wrong. I think the configuration had changed. Mm-hmm.